All right. Let me finish setting up this environment. And we're waiting for AV to get on the screen hero. There he is. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna call him in. Share. Screen hero doesn't want to work. Okay. Come on, screen hero. There we go. Hello. Oh, I need to take out my headphones here. All right, how does that sound?
Sounds fine.
Cool.
Is this the mic I'm using?
Yep.
Sounds like it. Okay.
All right. Yeah, looks like everything's working.
Yay.
Windows are moving around. All right. I think we're all set. So I'm gonna get the app running. Okay, so we've got a Python server over here, and Webpack is running right here. Let me zoom that in for folks. And so the server is good. Once we see a bunch of output from this terminal, we will know that our client code is
a bunch. Like how much? Oh,
yeah,
how much?
Yeah. Just standard Webpack output. And we currently have 5 viewers. Hello viewers.
Hello, viewers.
Oh, you're one of the viewers though. So
I'm one of them. I'm only in the chat room.
Gotcha. All right. So now we can go to localhost 5000, and we'll see what comes up. All right. Cool. So yesterday, I made it so when you click this save button, you make sure everything's compiling and doing okay. Yeah. So I made it so when you click this save button, before yesterday, it would just kind of like fade out a little bit, but it stays hidden. It stays disabled for a while since the save process takes a little bit to finish. So I made a little like animated save indicator.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's two things to move on to from this. One is that I think this is going to fail. So it'd be cool to make sure that saving actually works. And the other is, yeah, I don't know what's up with that. And the other thing is that compiling gives you all this cool UI that shows what it's doing. And I think it'd be great if save were to make the same kind of updates to the UI.
So that you can't, then you can't like play with things while you're saving.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, huh? I mean, you could still edit stuff.
Which I guess is if you had to choose one, you'd rather disable editing than disable playing with it while it saves, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe we don't want that feedback after all.
But I guess in any case, clearly having save actually work is more important.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't we dig into that? Um, all right, so we got some.
How is save supposed to work? What does it actually do? Where does
So
it save things?
it's let me answer these chat messages real fast. Also, why is the chat box in the stream not updating? Oh my gosh, Screen Hero messes up my computer more than any other software. There we go. Okay, so I think mostly streaming problems.
Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, hey, Stufel.
Hi, Stufel. Okay.
Whoops.
So the resolution is low.
I can rate my cursor. Hello.
I think we'll just have to fix that for next time. I'm really new to OBS and all sorts of streaming technologies. Delay. Okay, so the chat box was just messed up because Screen Hero was causing problems with my computer.
Cool.
So yeah, so how saving works.
And I meant specifically on the back end. Is it just sending the whole file to a backend endpoint?
It is not.
Persisted.
What it's doing is.
And you have your own database that this is saved into?
Everything goes into S3.
Okay, cool.
So the endpoint that gets posted to is this this upload, or not posted, but I think this is just a GET request. It's this upload URL, and it's asking the server for a signed S3 URL.
Oh, and it returns the URL, and then the front end uploads stuff to S3 directly.
Mm-hmm. And then I did a bunch of
URL.
native stuff to work with the file API.
Oh, okay. So it's putting a bunch of files into a folder, or just one file?
It's going to upload 2 files. So one is going to be just some JSON describing the contents of the HTML and the Elm, and the other is going to be the actual compiled HTML file with all the JavaScript in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So then you can just serve that.
Yep. And the nice thing is that revisions, the data structure that describes all this stuff as well as the dependencies, it never changes. It never gets updated in place, so it can be served directly from the CDN.
Cool.
So that saves me a little bit of bandwidth cost, and it also makes it faster. But I would love to know. So it looks like this request to the server to get the actual signed URLs is failing. So I'd love to know why. There's a problem with the server. Great.
Well, maybe you accidentally showed your AWS key on stream and somebody hacked it.
Oh, that could be. I've definitely done that. So.
Although I guess is your dev version using the real server or a separate dev key?
It's using a key specifically for this staging staging set of buckets. I think it's just one bucket. I'm gonna put a big old try except around this entire function.
Okay.
Have you worked with Python a bunch?
No.
Yeah, I hadn't either prior to writing this server scripts, but it turned out pretty nice and pretty short. And no,
Oh, cool.
Noah gave me a bunch of good advice about tools to use. All right, so we're gonna just catch everything.
Okay, and print it.
Yep.
Have you changed things on the back end here
Change.
recently that like aren't on prod?
None of this is on prod. This is all new.
Oh,
So
you can't save?
I can't what?
Can you not currently save?
You can save on production. All of this code that we're working on right now is not deployed. It's not in use. It's all
Crazy.
it all kind of like it started with I want to run the compiler in the browser and kind of snowballed into just all this other stuff that needed to be done to support it.
Okay, so how does prod currently save?
Currently, it'll post your code to the server, and the server will run the compiler and do the uploads to S3 from there, and then send back a status about what happened.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we saw the network request go to localhost. There's not a CORS problem with running from localhost or something? Yeah, or like having a localhost thing try to upload direct to S3. I guess that's the point of the signed URL. It's got the CORS accepts from everywhere.
You do need to configure CORS properly in your S3 bucket, but
Got it.
I've seen this request work in the past, so
Okay. Cool.
it's certainly possible that I like messed up the settings somewhere along the way, but okay, so let's try this again. Okay, save, and I just want to see what this prints out.
Well, so maybe the backend is generating the URL correctly. Oh no, it's giving 500.
Yep. And here's the error.
Right. Okay. Sounds easy.
Yeah. This is like I changed from Python 2 to Python 3 without really reading enough documentation about what it takes to do that. Can I use a string pattern? Is there like a stack trace we can see here? Python exception stack trace. Traceback. That's Python 2 though. Here we go. So I import traceback.
Can't we just? Oh, it had an exception before. Oh, is Flask eating the exception?
It was.
Before, I see.
Yeah. Put that big try catch around it.
Is there just an option for Flask where we can tell it to print the stack trace when there's an error instead of having to do this ourselves?
There might be. I did some custom error handling to make sure that my API endpoints were returning
okay,
JSON.
Yeah, because I use Flask at Hackbright, and I see crashes in that code all the time.
Yeah. I think there's probably a.
But I guess that makes sense if you have a custom error handler.
Yeah. There's probably like a nice thing on top of Flask that will that will do like nice JSON endpoints. I don't think Flask was built for JSON APIs originally.
Yeah,
Okay, so
sense. I mean, neither was Rails.
Yeah, right.
Neither was Spring or whatever in Java.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of time, there was no JSON.
I saw a thing with okay. Let's try this out.
Okay.
Although, surely there's like a traceback property on exception types.
Maybe. Although it's expensive to populate that, so maybe it doesn't do it if it doesn't need to.
Mm-hmm. Args. Yeah.
Dan and his beard ask, is there a live editing thing or just kind of intended for a single person use and posting updates? Ellie's just single user at the moment, right?
Yep. But collaboration is planned for like September-ish.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna use WebRTC.
That'll all have to go through the backend then, right?
I have no idea how WebRTC works, but
well, I mean, just in terms of like multiple users having conflicts with each other or something.
Oh, right.
One user could act as the master and everyone else.
Yeah, totally.
Messages that one.
I think you could probably like make that arrangement based on just who started the sharing session on the client. I'm going to print this instead of... There's so many things running on my laptop right now. This is just, it's gone. There it is.
Oh, I see. The front end is compiling the code. That's why it's taking time.
Mm-hmm. All right, nothing even showed up there. Boy. Which makes sense because this is not valid Python. Have you been doing a lot of streaming lately?
Nope. I haven't done much. Yeah, I mainly just got busy with actually writing some code.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I was realizing for me, like, I'm kind of more interested in having videos that like people can watch and they're kind of concise and they can like use it as a reference or to learn about something new. And I think I also realized like for me, I think just like having short videos makes more sense for me because I kind of want, like, I'm imagining the people that I want to reach anyway are people who are going to be spending their time writing code more than watching streams.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to think of like what is the long term thing, and like if I like had a popular stream, then I don't know, it just didn't sync in my mind with like actually getting people to write more code and like collaborate with each other and that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
But I haven't actually made any videos recently either. But I've been writing some cool stuff that I can maybe make videos about soon.
Nice.
Process timed out. That's Adam. Adam's process timed out.
It's the auto formatter for Python.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm running too many things to figure out how
tiny
to.
laptop can't take it.
Well, so this is like a MacBook Pro that I bought when they came out, just recently this past year. I suppose that I should have gotten a better CPU, but okay, storage.
Yeah, who knew you were going to be live streaming full screen video?
Yeah. Okay, so this is happening.
I think the bottom line is the relevant one in this Python stack trace, right?
It is. Okay, it doesn't like this. It doesn't like this thing. So I suppose. So that's in this file.
Okay.
Flip past the.
We are replacing something with nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't like this. So maybe cannot use a string on a bytes-like object. So maybe this this needs to be decoded to a string first.
Okay. What is the regex we're using?
So I accidentally left a secret in here, so I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
zip past it. No, too late. Everybody's seen it. It doesn't matter. It's just the thing that makes sure that only the server is able to modify a cookie that says like who owns what projects. It can't be modified on the client anyway. Yeah, there's no secret user data in Ellie at all.
Got it. Right. So now someone could use that to man in the middle a server setups, like if they can redirect traffic. Wait, is Ellie on HTTPS?
It is.
So they'd have to get a valid certificate for Ellie.com.
Right.
Okay, seems like we've got a bit of time to replace that.
Yeah. You know what? Given how low impact that would be, if somebody can pull that off, good for them.
No, don't make it sound like a challenge. Yeah, so what is that regex?
This is replacing. It's replacing
the equals plus at the end.
Yeah. This is like a hand port of some node library that does signed cookies. Because the Flask version of that just like has some expectations about the structure of your cookie
Ah,
and also doesn't like encode it and decode it in the same way. So
got it.
I had to do it by hand. Um,
Well, like if we know the behavior of the base64 library, we could just drop the last 2 bytes. We don't have to use a regex for that,
that's true.
unless we're worried about it not always, or we know we're always encoding a hash, right?
Yes.
So we should have an exact number of characters every time, so we could just slice off the number of bytes we know we need.
That's true. That's awesome.
Although I guess we're
we
still
can,
going to end up with a byte with bytes, so maybe we'll have a problem farther down where we actually do need it to be a string eventually. In which case, we may as well just convert it now.
Yep. Yeah, I think we do need to be a string at some point, but this seems unnecessary. We could even do we got a comment about WebRTC. Doesn't have to go to the backend. Get real comp sci-ish. Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Dan and Beard is talking about CRDT. Yeah, so actually, it's strangely last year I was talking to Martin Kleppman, who's been doing research on uh, CRDT data structures, and he's the
what does
guy that
CRDT
published
stand
that
for?
like JSON structure, like representing JSON objects in, or like representing full JSON in CRDTs.
What is a CRDT?
It's a data structure where you have actions that manipulate it. It's like for a dictionary, you like insert a key or replace a key with this value.
Mm-hmm.
So CRDTs are particular data structures where if the operations to modify them are reordered, you will still get the same result at the end once all the operations are applied.
Nice.
There was a cool talk a few years ago at Strange Loop by a guy from SoundCloud who talked about how they switched to using CRDTs on their backend and had some awesome scalability results and reliability improvements because they didn't have to worry about a bunch of like synchronization that they used to have to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was talking to Martin Kleppman last year at Strange Loop about once he had that JSON package a bit more solid and had some JavaScript demos, I was going to try to work with him to make an Elm package that like wrapped CRDT data structures so it would be easy to make your own data model in a way that like automatically would get CRDT benefits, and you could write collaborative apps in Elm just using that package.
That's awesome. I would definitely use that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he got sidetracked with some other stuff, but actually it's summer now. I was going to try to follow up with him this summer.
Nice.
So I guess it's soon time to do that.
There we go. Okay, so the server is working out now. But what's happening here?
Your cores is not set up properly on your S3 bucket after all.
No, it is not. I'm gonna pull off a window
You
here.
lied to me.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna pull off a window here and oh no.
Oh, whoops. I guess I can't like do things in the other screen while you have things off screen.
Why is Screen Hero doing this? Nothing is clickable. All right, I'm gonna exit Screen Hero on another thing,
Okay.
and then I'll call you back.
Cool.
Oh, Screen Hero, why are you doing this? I'm gonna force quit. Of course, it doesn't show up. Of course not. Stop! No! Huh. Alright, so we successfully quit Screen Hero. And now we're logging back in and we're going to call back AV. And while we're waiting for that to work, I'm just going to log into AWS.
Yay.
Hey! Okay, so everything's good now with AWS.
Cool.
Or not with AWS, with Screen Hero.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still cool.
Yeah. I'm currently logging into AWS. And once I'm logged in, I'll drag it over to the shared screen so people can see what I'm doing.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking up the link for the JSON CRDT. Okay. I'm gonna dump in the chat. Assuming I can post links in your chat. Apparently I can.
Don't believe I have that disabled. Okay, now I'm logged in and I'm going to go to S3 and into the bucket. And then I'll drag it back. There we go.
Their UI is so pretty compared to the last time I used it.
Yeah, it's much better. I think they made it with it's either React or Angular.
Huh. Cool.
So properties. Permissions.
I think you need to go to the bucket itself. Oh, you're okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm in the bucket right now.
There's some stuff. Got it.
And we will hop localhost 5000 right into there. I think that's secure because you still need the signed thing with my key. Only one user has permission to do this.
Okay. Yeah, so someone could, well, but your server, well, yeah, okay. So if someone could hit your Python server, they could generate a key, which they could then use to upload into that folder.
Yep.
Which they could do anyway by just typing the code they want to upload.
Yep.
And because your front end decodes with Elm JSON decoders, it's safe. There's not really any backdoors to like crash the app and like gain root of the user's browser.
Right.
Actually, maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's some weird JSON or bug in the Ajax of some browser that. Anyway.
That'd be wild.
Enough.
I'd love to learn if that ever happens. I'd love to see like the white paper on it. That's like one of those things that ends up in like a talk that a like lead of security at a big payments company gives, just like a list of like silly things that ended up being terrible security holes. Um, okay, so we have chorus, and that is saved. So now, we're going to do this.
Now everything's just gonna work.
That would be wonderful. Hey, it worked. So now if we reload this. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, so there's another bug to fix. Hello, people who just joined. Hey, Scott's here. Hi, Scott.
Oh, hello.
Avi, do you want to introduce yourself to the folks who are not Scott?
To the new wave of viewers.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm Aaron. I work at Red Ink. I wrote Elm format, most of it so far. What else? I guess I was the first. Well, no, I was the second person to do streaming. Danny was the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some YouTube videos that some people like. I think that's about all that I'm known for. I'm not like an actor on a TV show or anything. I'm not an author or a screenwriter.
Nice. Not a politician.
I'm not a professional card game player.
That's the second time that's come up in the stream.
Actually, so in college, I dated a woman whose brother was also a professional Magic player.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I guess that's me. I just like to write nice code.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to come on to this with me. It's more
sure.
fun. It's more fun when there's somebody else to talk to.
Yeah, I've been trying to Teresa's been visiting, and she'll be here for another month or so, and we've been doing some code projects too, so that's been fun. Nice. I think Chandrika was interested in like helping write the upgrade script for elm-lang.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's cool to have people to work with.
What are going to be the biggest things that script has to do?
The big one, and Evan's not totally sure if it's going to happen yet or not, but HTML.attributes.style is going to change potentially. So right now it takes a list of tuples of string,
mm-hmm.
and he's going to change it to just be a function that takes two strings. So you don't have to group all your styles together. Like each one will be a separate attribute, and then elm-html will just jumble them all together for you.
Nice.
So if that happens, that'll be kind of a significant upgrade thing, which like we don't have to do that. No one's really going to complain if we don't, but it would be awesome if that was just automatic.
Yeah. That's not really you couldn't like write a function to do style the old way with that, right? Because you'd end up with a list inside of something that's
Yeah, and there's no like attributes.batch either, so.
Oh, that's right.
Although actually he might be adding something like that. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Anyway, it'd be a cool trial of I'm thinking the way to do it is just to finish the JSON output for Elm format, and then have the upgrade script just process the JSON, and that would be a fun little trial to see if that's actually a good way to do things.
Mm-hmm. Well, cool. Okay, so right now we are trying to, like, there's a problem with the way that like the key of the thing thought it made apparently doesn't exist. So let's do a little exploration. So this is the key.
Okay. So maybe it got put into the wrong folder.
Perhaps.
That's the first thing I would check.
Okay, so that definitely exists.
Okay.
And there's 0.json. So this is what I think it ought to be fetching.
Okay. Since the client uploaded it, it may have set the permissions super restrictive or something.
Oh yeah. Everybody has read access though.
Huh, okay.
So that
can you try getting that in like an incognito browser?
I can indeed. Copy this. Incognito window. Yep. So it must be the way that this like path is being generated here.
So what, the client is trying to fetch that file?
The server is fetching it.
The server's fetching it. Okay.
Yeah, for now.
Oh, that's the metadata, and it's... Okay. Cool.
So let's just print this key, see what we think we're going for. Okay. Revisions / that / JSON. And if I copy that right over here. Oh, so that is wrong. What's wrong about it?
You got the host name twice or something. There's two host names.
Right, so the first, like when you go to S3, the first thing in the path is the name of the bucket, which in this case is just like the same name as the URL.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'm with you. Well, when you just downloaded it, oh, something's different. The F.
Oh.
F is a D.
Oh no.
You done hashed wrong.
That's really bad. That's a big deal. Oh shoot. That is probably not something we're going to be able to fix in the next 15 minutes.
Wait, where does that come from?
It's there's a whole algorithm to generate it, and this is a fun story about like, so Ellie's like the first real thing that I ever made. So there's just like a lot of really.
So here's the question: like the server is generating that hash both when you save, and when you read.
Right.
So is it not calling the same function both times?
I think the algorithm to generate it is not reflexive. No, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense because like
it's not deterministic. It's a non-deterministic hashing function.
That's so confusing.
And it doesn't make sense. Like, what are the inputs to it? Like, what's getting hashed?
So it's there is this constant value, and then there's this shouldn't be uppercase, but there's this this number that just gets incremented every time it gets used, and then so this is a bunch of bits in a long integer, and this is also a small set of bits, and then the rest of this 64-bit integer is just the difference between the current timestamp and some like predefined determined timestamp. So this is how Instagram generates IDs.
Huh.
And there's
Okay.
a bunch of junk in here because I did it wrong the first time, but it was in production for a while. So now there's a bunch of IDs out there that just like people have linked to, and I have to account for them.
So you need the timestamp to generate it,
Yep.
but when you're reading it, you should just be using the one from the URL, right?
Yeah.
You only generate this when you save.
Yeah. There's something really strange going on.
Or else it comes from, does it come from the URL or does it come from a cookie?
It comes from the URL.
Oh, okay. So was just your URL wrong?
It was.
I mean, sorry, the URL of the, hey, yeah, that one has a D in it.
It does.
And what was it supposed to have, a D or an F?
I think it was supposed to have an F.
The front end is asking for D.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
It's supposed to be a D. It's supposed to be a D, and the D is what you asked the server for. So where did the server get F from?
Wait a minute. So the server. Okay, yeah. The server's coming up with F. Does everything else look the same? It does.
Yeah. And also, if something was wrong with the hashing, more than one character would be changing.
It would.
So, but the server shouldn't be rehashing anyway. It should just be using what it gets from the URL.
Right.
So it's got to be in the controller function, and it's just doing something crazy.
Yeah, this is...
Get revision. And you printed that, and it was wrong.
Right. It was.
Is get revision what Flask invokes?
Yeah, it's just a helper function to do this.
Yeah, okay, so then what calls get revision?
That is called here.
And project ID is, okay, coming from Flask. Can we print project ID?
Yes.
There. And what is project ID that is old? Is that getting hit?
No, so that will... oh, this is the wrong... No, this is right. This is not getting hit.
Okay.
So this is what figures out if it's like the old wrong thing that I did back in February, and if that's the case, it'll just it'll redirect to the new hash.
I mean, are you sure that's not getting hit? Because maybe this hash it thinks is old for some reason, and it's transforming it in a crazy way.
I'm certain, because the way that we know that this is a new hash is because it ends in the characters A1.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So A is not allowed in the hashing algorithm, and so it's a separator, and then this one here is the version of the hash.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're getting here. We want to print project ID just to see what it thinks the project ID is. So the D is correct, and it's changing it to an F, and that's why we want to fix. That's so weird. It's such an odd thing to happen. Like, why wouldn't the whole thing be wrong? Wait a minute. Oh yeah, okay, so when I called print, it printed it out as a string, and it has an F instead of a D.
Okay. Oh, Did the client have the wrong thing?
The client's just taking what's in this URL and it's sending it down as a string.
Yeah. Yeah. Did it have a D in it in the client?
So here we're certain that it has a D.
Okay.
And it's being redirected because it can't find it.
Is it actually a D or is it some weird Unicode thing that looks like a D? You just typed D in, didn't
D.
you? It
Yeah.
worked.
Oh my goodness. That is so.
Oh, does your check old mutate the string accidentally?
Oh, maybe it does. Maybe there's some mutation happening somewhere. Okay, so now I have to go look at this.
Oh, what we can just print it before we do the is old.
Right. Let me do that here. Print. This is like before anything, so. It's amazing. I wish there was like a flag in Python where you could just say like, no mutation ever.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's see. So that's the third character of a base 32. So we're off by 32,768.
I don't think it's not oh,
yeah.
base anything. It's just okay, so before anything it has a D. So so this from string function is making a mistake. Let's be sure that that's true.
Okay. Let that be a lesson to you. Always use immutable data structures.
Yes. Always. You know what? My bet would be that it's like something weird with the way Python does indexing on strings.
Oh, really? I think it's going to be your fault.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's still the same after conversion.
Okay. So what's the next? What happens to it next?
Okay, so we know everything's fine up to this point. And we're coming in to here. So
yeah, I bet it's is old.
Okay.
Is mutating.
Let's look at the definition of.
Like those bit shift things.
Oh, that's from a different data structure. I'm way off here. Here we go. Okay, so that.
Where's the is old?
Oh, is old is just a thing that gets set in. In the
okay. Well, that can't mutate it then.
How on earth? Well, we're just about out of time. So
Yeah.
we'll have to figure it out later, and then
Can we? I mean, I tried printing right after as the first line of the function as well.
okay.
And if that's that should definitely be a D.
Right. And if it's not, we can maybe assume that Flask is doing something that we don't want it to do. Yeah, there it is. It's still an F.
Which is wrong.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
It's between the converter up here in the URL and actually passing it in as an argument, it's changing the number somehow.
Okay, so it's got to be something in the project class, project ID class, but not the is_old thing.
Right.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking an hour to come on this with me.
Yeah, no worries.
I hope
That
it was a good time, and maybe someday in the future there'll be like hundreds of viewers for some reason. We can, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you can have like a live visualization of all the activity on Ellie, then like people can write their code while you're streaming. Or you can use the beta version and use the live features as you implement them.
Oh, that would be really neat if we could do like hot reloading or something. I was thinking of adding like a little like
hot reloading.
I was thinking of adding like a little thing where like if the stream is active and people happen to be using Ellie, like a little thing will pop up in the notifications to be like, come work on this thing.
Nice.
Yep. Okie dokie. I will talk to you later.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me. And hi to all the viewers again. Bye-bye.
See ya. Okay, we got some comments to respond to. Something I didn't do this time was have the comments like right in front of me on this screen, so I can so they'd be kind of passing before my eyes as it was happening. Also, this like screen here, I was not updating it. Probably. Okay, yeah, so we just didn't do a good job with the comments. Or I didn't do a good job with the comments. So to respond to these, just so it's in the video. So what backends do most of y'all Elm people use? Yeah, like AV's response there. So with regard to the hash, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's some strange thing with the way Python does indexing, and I didn't move the algorithm from JavaScript to Python correctly, so it's like it's somehow getting to F when it should be getting to D, just because like the modulo operator behaves differently or something goofy like that. Okay, I will definitely do that next time. All right, so got some good ideas for improvements to the process, and we encountered a pretty nasty bug that would have made going live with us just a terrible thing. So yeah, I'll see y'all on Monday. I think on Monday Teresa Sokol will be joining us, and that'll be great. Bye, y'all. Yes, Elm front end with Python Flask backend. But I do have to go back to work now, so we will pick all this up on Monday.